Okay, everybody, are you ready?
Yes.
I love it. Today is going to be a life-changing half-hour health. And the reason is the information that's coming out in reference to food additives is very secretive. It's like the food manufacturers don't want really anybody to know what's happening. So I've done a lot of research on this. I'd encourage you to go to Dr. Mercola. He has a great site of information, really good. And it's mercola.com. And I'm going to be using some of his information today. Another one is the center, it's CSPI. If you Google CSPI News, they have a lot of information. CSPInews.org. And another one is naturalnews.com. You really need to stay on top of this, and you're going to see why in a few minutes. So, and then also this company, CSPI, is where I receive this newsletter from. I get this every month. It's very affordable. It's like $12 a year. It's called Nutrition Action. Cutting edge. I mean, they will tell you to stay away from like just like some kind of tiramisu. They'll tell you what foods are they're lying to you, basically. They'll tell you exactly what foods, how many grams, how many calories, everything. And so I'm always on top of all what is trying to be put under the radar. But I needed to talk to you about this today because it affects your emotional health, your physical health. So we're going to be talking about food additives. I had a conversation with a gentleman this morning. He's 55 years old. He's a single man, and he eats out every meal. Every meal. Now, that is not uncommon, because I have a lot of people that are single or married, and on the way to work someone's going to stop off somewhere and get something. Or if I go to the BP station to pick up a newspaper, it just wows me. Bottle of Pepsi, Apple, pack of cigarettes, lottery ticket. So, I'm just telling you that. So America doesn't go to grocery stores anymore. They go to the service station. And at the service station they get all the necessary foods for life. Just a joke. If you're watching me, I'm not serious. Okay. So food additives in your health. Why are additives a concern? Just think of the word additive. I mean, they are adding something to food. And trust me, that adding something to food is not to enhance your experience physically. It might be able to enhance your experience mentally and nutritionally, so you're going to crave. It's all about craving. And when I read this to you today, you're going to be appalled. Here's my concern. If you turn your page over, I want you to look at the box, the fat oil box that I have. Okay? Turn the box over, you're going to look right here. It says, inhibits the process. Food additives, dairy, inhibit the process. Can you all see that? And some of you, if you don't have it, my chart's a little bit different than yours. There's a box right here. In trans fat, hydrogenated fats, French fries, food additives, inhibit the process. Dr. Bob, inhibit what process? They're inhibiting the process of how oil is converted in your body. That, what I just shared with you, is just so important. So food additives interrupt normal body physiology. If you just learn that from me today, and you become label savvy, and you start reading ingredients, let me just tell you one item that's probably the worst food in the whole world. Are you ready? Is Skittles. If you have a child or a grandchild, niece or nephew, Sunday school child, or if you go someplace and they give Skittles as rewards, you get a slingshot and you put that Skittle and you shoot them back at them. I'm just joking, but Skittles are poison because of all the colors. Red Lake number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so some of this I want to read to you, not to be boring, but just listen to me. Yellow dye number 5 and red dye number 40. I'm at the front page right now. So they call these different colors different numbers. So here's the first rule. If you get a package and it has any of these colors on it, you put it down. Because that is an additive that's going to throw off your body physiology. I am not going to say this that it does happen, but I think some people issue with Alzheimer's and dementia and other nervous system disorders can be traced, I believe, to food additives. Why? Because those food additives interrupt normal fat metabolism in the body. That is important. It's very, very important. So here's the issue, though, that they're making a big deal about it right now, and you can understand this because I wrote the book on ADHD, is that they're widely used colorings that are linked to hyperactivity and behavior problems in children and should be prohibited from the use of foods, according to the CSPI. The group formally petitioned the Food and Drug to ban dyes, several of which are already being phased out in the United Kingdom. So let me start the whole program by telling you this. The United Kingdom doesn't let these colors in, but the United States does. So the United Kingdom is doing all this research. So you could have one company that will make a food in the United States and they'll use a food coloring, and that same company in the UK will use real food. Do you remember when you were kids you had banana ice cream? Guess what you found in it? Bananas. Now you might taste bananas today in ice cream, but I'll guarantee you what, there ain't no bananas in it because they're using colors. But let me continue on. So there are other dyes, like blue 1, blue 2, green 3, orange, probably orange B, whatever that one is, red 3, and yellow 6. Now here's something else that I learned. If you take blue and yellow, because of going to school a long time ago with crayons, remember crayons? Crayola. You know, you may not have been the sharpest crayon in the box. But if you take blue and yellow, what does that make?
Green.
So when you read these notes, I'm just so excited to tell you this. You'll go to a place and Kraft will sell an avocado dip, and they'll say in the article, there's a trace of avocado, but guess what causes the green? A blue and a yellow dye are causing the avocado to be green in color.
That's disgusting.
It is very frightening. It gets even worse. The continued use of these unnecessary artificial dyes is the secret shame of the food industry and the regulators who watch over it, said CSPI Director Michael Jacobson. The purpose, they'll read this, I bolded the ones that are really important. The purpose of these chemicals is to mask the absence of real food. Did you get that? To mask the absence of the real food. To increase the appeal of low nutrition products to children or both. Who can tell the parents of kids with behavior problems that this is truly worth the risk? So, if you have a child that has any kind of emotional issue at all, or you know someone, this is very serious. They need to read this article. They need to watch this on the internet. Because they put kids on Ritalin and Clonidine and Strattera. I have a friend of mine right now whose son is in the emotional ward at a local hospital because of chemical challenges in his body, because he had his thyroid taken out when he was a child. They should have never taken the thyroid out of him, but right now he's not in a good spot. But I have people every day that I have consultations with that are depressed. I talked to a guy today who had anxiety. Another 26-year-old child the other day that's having depression. I'm talking about, this is major, major issues. America's exposure to artificial dyes has risen sharply. According to the FDA, the amount of food dye used per capita in 1955, now imagine that, that's 50-some years ago, it was 12 milligrams a day. In 2007, 59 milligrams per person, nearly 5 times as much. So do you remember back in the good old days in the 1950s and 60s? If you didn't eat something within a day or two, guess what you had to do with it? You had to throw it away. You know, and the food had a real taste. My wife and I primarily eat 95% of what we do is organic. Well, the other day we went grocery shopping. In my human error, I picked up a bag of carrots. We had 3 minutes before the store was going to close, and I got to the register, and she said, "Did you get the organic?" And I looked at it, and I looked at her, and I said, "We'll just eat a bag of non-organic carrots, okay?" So this morning, last night, I had some of them. They don't have any taste. And I just wonder how soon they picked those carrots and they sprayed some kind of nitrous oxide on them to get the color. Okay, dyes are used in countless foods and are sometimes used to simulate the colors of fruits or vegetables. Here it is. Kraft's guacamole dip gets its green color not from avocados, there are almost none, but from yellow dye 5, yellow 6, and blue 1. So I want you to do me a favor, go to the grocery store, look at Kraft, look at the avocado dip, and see if what I'm saying is true. But it's not just that product. So when I was talking to this gentleman this morning who goes to a local restaurant for breakfast every day, and he has a pendulous abdomen, when we did the testing on his liver, he had major liver distress. And I told him, unless he stops going out to eat every day, guess what's going to happen to him? It's going to happen.